Okay, so these are your directions for today's assignment. You have titled and dated page 28 of your journal, Gear Ratio Practice 1. It says everything in pink needs to be written in your journal. So, title, pink. Black are the directions that you need to follow, and then you need to make sure you're answering the blue questions in your journal. There are 6 of them, because the next assignment that is on Canvas for you today is a form where you're going to type your answers to these questions to submit. So the next slide is the video that you were supposed to watch Friday, or not Friday, the video you were supposed to watch on Wednesday that explains about Gear Generator. It's here again for you to watch, and then you need to click here and actually go to Gear Generator. What I would suggest is that you have the Gear Generator on one side and the notes on the other side, so that you can see both of them at the same time if it works. There we go. Okay. So remember, some of the things I said was to leave your leave your RPMs there. You can remove all your extra gears. Okay. Connection angle needs to be -60, and your diametral pitch needs to be 5. Makes it a little bit smaller, and then you can change your zoom. So it's 75, and it makes things a lot easier. Okay. So then your next step is to build this gear train. So you're going to be able to gear 0, which says right here that you want 16 for the teeth. So right here for the teeth, you need to make it 16. And then for gear number 1, so we need to add a new gear. Gear number 1, we need to make it have down here 32 teeth. So 32 teeth. Then I have, here are my 2 gears. So then the next slide says gear train number 1 has 2 gears. And this is in pink, so you're going to write in your journal. The driver gear has 16 teeth, so this is the driver gear. The driven gear has 32 teeth, so this is my driven gear. And remember, gear ratios equal the driven gear colon the driver gear. I noticed a lot of you had these reversed. It's driven, then driver. So the gear ratio for this gear train is 32 to 16. So 32 to 16, which reduces to 2 to 1. That means the driver has to turn 2 times to make the driven gear turn once. So let's check this. We're going to click reset, which means it lines up our red dots. And then we're going to click start. And we're going to make sure this goes around twice and this goes around once to those dots go again or meet again. So you can see this is going around, this one's going around, and notice they're going in opposite directions. Okay, so my 16 has gone around once. I haven't seen the red dot for my 32 back at this connection yet. So here comes my 16, here comes my 32, and oh look, they meet. So my 16 did go around twice to make my 32 go around once. Okay, next slide. Now it says what happens if your larger gear is the driver. So that means the driver gear has 32 teeth, so that's this one, and the driven gear has 16. You don't have to do anything else in Gear Generator. It's already there. So now your questions you have to answer in your journal is, what is the reduced gear ratio for gear train 1B? 1B. So remember, based on what we just have here, gear ratios is the driven gear compared to the driver gear. So you need to find out what is the answer for this and make sure you reduce it. Now, this is a trick question. How much does the driver gear need to go around to make the driven gear rotate once? So how many times is this big one, or how much? Does this big one need to go around to make this little one go around once? The answer is not 2. Okay, so you're going to answer those 2 questions in your journal. And then you're going to go on to the next one where you need to build train number 2. I'll make this a little bigger for you. So you can see it says number of gear teeth for gear 0 is 16. That is the same as gear train number 1, so you don't need to change it. But it does say for number 1 gear, you need to change your number of teeth to 24. So we're going to go over here to our gear train, and we need to click and make sure number 1 is selected. And for the number of gear teeth, we want to change this to 24. Okay, so now you can see this gear is slightly smaller than it was before. So let's pull back up our directions. Oh, go back over here. And it says, oh, we're on this one. Gear train number 2 has 2 gears. Driver gear has 16, so that's this one. And the driven gear has 24 teeth. That's this one. The gear ratio for this gear is 24 to 16. So 24 to 16, because remember, it's driven to driver, which reduces to 3 to 2. So both of those are divisible by 8. Okay. So this means that this driver needs to go around 3 times to make this one go around twice. So let's check this. You're going to click reset. So it lines up our red dots. And we're going to click start, and we should see this one go around 3 times to make this one go around twice. And what will happen then is these 2 dots will end up back in the same spot. So I want you to try that on your own and see if it works. Okay, so hit pause and try to see if this works. Okay. Now, your job is for train 2B, which has the same gears again. It's just now we're going to refer to this one as the driver, the bigger one. So the driver gear has 24 teeth and the driven gear has 16 teeth. What is the reduced ratio? Remember, it's driven, which is this one, compared to driver. And then question number 4 is how many times does the driver need to go around to make the driven gear rotate 6 times? So how many times does this one need to go around to make this one go around 6 times? It's not 3. Okay. Now we have to build gear train number 3. Okay. So gear 0, which is the smaller one, now has 8 teeth. So we need to go back and click on the 0 gear and make it have 8 teeth. So let's click on the 0 gear, and this needs to have 8. Then hit enter. See? Okay. Then it says for gear 1, so click on gear 1, number of teeth is 32. So over here, I need to click and make this 32. Now I have a super tiny gear and a big gear. Okay. It says gear train number 3 has 2 gears. Driver gear has 8 teeth. Driven gear has 32 teeth. So this is my driver. This is my driven. The gear ratio for this gear is 32 to 8. So remember, we compared driven to driver, which when we reduce that down, it becomes 4 to 1. That means this one has to go around 4 times to make this one go around once. Okay, so we're going to click reset. Just double check, make sure our red dots are lined up. And then you need to click start and see. Does this go around 4 times to make this one go around once? I don't know. Find out. Okay, now your job is to flip them. Again, you don't have to do anything. It's just in your mind, think of this as the driver and this is the driven. And you need to answer questions 5 and 6. Okay? And then that's all you have to do with Gear Generator for today. You will have more assignments tomorrow with Gear Generator to do. And your next step is to submit a picture showing page 28 in your journal where you have answered these questions. And then you need to go complete the gear ratio notes question form, which is the next assignment on Canvas under today. And that is where you're going to submit your answers, and you'll find out if you're right or wrong.